Thanks for tuning in this week. Well, with the number of videos, I'd say thanks for tuning in today. Today I'll be formally kicking off my Q&C segment, which is the Quip and Conversation segment. Essentially, I'll have a guest, we'll read a quip from one of my books, and I'll get that individual's take on it. I doubt that you can guess who my first guest will be. So stay tuned. Join us in the Quip Corner. Thanks again for joining me in the Quip Corner today. And thanks to my special guest for joining me. You can't be serious. Okay, well, welcome again.
Thank you.
Yes, you want to take a bow?
No, I already did my thing, so it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
All right. So today you're picking a quip from my third book, and we're just gonna talk about it.
Yeah, okay. Well,
so why don't you tell me which quip, and maybe read it out, and then I'll check it up in my own copy.
So the quip that I'm picking is Quip 83.
Okay.
And it reads, do not be idle, instead use the time to work on your ideas and you will arrive at your ideal life.
Okay, I'm not going to assume you're talking to me.
It's a quote. I think it applies to everyone, but the book is for teens and tweens and 20s. So it's looking at when you're in middle school area to the high school area, and I took this as I didn't take it as anything. I just interpreted it a little differently, mainly because for me, I've been looking back at some things over the past year in terms of quarantine. I could have spent my time a little better. I'm not complaining because I did use my time in a fun way according to my standards. So I'm not upset, but there are certain things that would have been a lot nicer to use my time for, potentially getting better at guitar or piano, and that's a good way to use your time. And the only reason my mind went to there was because of hobbies later on in the future. When you're relatively old and you have nothing to do, you can just pick up a guitar, start jamming away with your kids or whatever. And I don't know, that's what I thought of when I saw this quote. But you can always take it back to school, right? And say that don't waste your, in terms of homework, because you can always get your homework done early and stuff like that. But a lot of people like to wait until the last minute. Procrastination. I'm not against it. I'm also not for it. But you do you. Make sure that it makes sense. But don't be wasting your time doing unproductive things. Again, this is all relative because, some things that your parents might see as unproductive might be super helpful for you in the future. Case in point, some parents back in the 2000s when video games were starting to be a thing would see their kids playing video games for a long time as unproductive. But see how streaming has turned out, and YouTube, in terms of how the video game industry is kind of blown up, and now they have their own kind of YouTube for themselves, it's Twitch, and you see how that's translated into money for them. So you can't just, that's why I say it's relative. Spending your time is relative, but overall, just make sure you know what you're doing with your time and like you can kind of justify it. But that's about it.
Nice. I really do agree with you, about making the best use of the time you have, because time lost is lost forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't regain the time. I'm happy that you looked inwards to say, yeah, I could have been doing a few things, but, the way I used my time wasn't a total waste.
Yeah.
Yeah, we learn. We learn. The important thing is to learn and then improve for the next go round. Hopefully not another pandemic, but
we don't want none of that. None of that.
hopefully not another pandemic, but definitely for the next go round. And you know how sometimes you're talking or you read something and you're like, talking to me? Because interestingly, I had been thinking the same thing about myself. And I had been challenging myself to say, okay, how are you using your time, and what's your end goal, and how are you using your time so you get to that end goal? Case in point, trying to improve on YouTube and things like that. So, well, thank you for sharing your perspective on that quip.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully you'll be here again to share a quip or two from the same book.
Hopefully.
Yeah?
Yeah. And you can purchase this book on Amazon. And if you want a signed copy by her, you can get it in the description below. There's a link in the description. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share the video, and turn on the notification bell so you get more notifications when she uploads. Because, you want this content in your feed. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.